After After working in corporate sector for 15 years, Mr. Goswami established his own venture in 1992 and since has been instrumental in helping MSMEs with business strategies, joint ventures, technology upgradation, and export opportunities across 18 countries. Apart from his business achievement, he has made significant contribution to academia and mentoring, guiding thousands of students on career building, entrepreneurship, effective communication, and understanding industry expectations. He has served on corporate advisory boards, academic councils, and professional bodies, and is also an active speaker and moderator on national and international platforms. Very recently, he was honored with Alumni Service Award from IIM Bangalore, recognizing his decades of service and contribution. We are truly privileged to have you with us today, sir, and to share your rich experience and what industry expects from engineers, young engineers, and how you can prepare yourself for this exciting journey ahead. So I request students to be attentive and please free if you to clarify any of your doubts and please join me in giving a warm welcome to Mr. Shailendra Goswami sir. Welcome sir, over to you.
Thank you. Good morning. As has been introduced, uh, my name Shailendra Goswami. I belong to Pune only. I've lived in Pune, barring some education which I did in IIM Bangalore way back in 1975-77. Incidentally, part of resume advisory boards and governing bodies, I'm also a member on the governing body of MMCOE. And very recently, I attended the meeting where we are discussing industry-specific syllabus or curriculum in which way we should be adopting for students to benefit when they come out of the institute and get into the industry. It should not become a cultural shock, and that is where I'm trying to really contribute. I'm actually helping almost around 8 universities as an advisor across India and overseas as well. Well, thank you, Marathoda Mitramandal College of Engineering, for giving me this opportunity to address the first year batch of engineers who have been inducted. And I think there are some more admissions which are still continuing. I was told that the final round will get completed by 15th of September, when you will have a full quorum. But even otherwise, what today overwhelms me is that we have a crowd of almost 342 of you. Well, this is the largest gathering online which I have addressed so far. And I hope I am very clearly audible and would like to contribute as much as possible of my 47, 48 years, almost 5 decades of experience in academia and industry. Now, this is the opportunity which I have been given by MMCOE several times, and I have come there to speak on various induction programs physically. But I think this is the second or third time I'm speaking online after COVID. During COVID, we did a couple of online programs where I conducted opportunities during and after COVID for the students. Let me first of all congratulate all of you for getting this admission, which is very, very precious in the engineering college, and that you will be spending next 4 years at least, if not many more, if you pursue post graduations. But at least let us assume that you would like to graduate as an engineer from here. Let me welcome you on behalf of the institute and the entire fraternity of faculties, management of the college, etc. And I also welcome you to the world of creativity, that is Engineers Club, because most of the times engineers are looked at uh, someone who really takes care of problem solving, somebody who has solutions for everything that is going around in whichever field one can imagine. there is an engineering mind which always helps, which I'm talking from my own personal experience. Being an engineer is an asset where you apply your thinking logically and laterally to get into the problem and then arrive at a solution much faster than anybody else. Well, this is also going to be your roadmap for professional as well as personal transformation, because from what you are today and to what you will become 4 years hence, you yourself will realize that you are going to be a different person altogether, with a whole lot of value additions you may have done to your personality. You may have added lot many skills. You may have changed your attitude towards looking at life. You may have changed in many, many, many forms. And what all those changes are, maybe I'm going to tell you something in next 45 minutes, what is available to me. And thereafter, I'll open this forum for questions. And prefer to answer a whole lot of questions because I like people asking me questions. And I do not assume that whatever I say in next 40, 45 minutes is going to be thoroughly understood by everyone. So please feel free to ask questions, and I would love to answer all of them. Let us look at your first year when you have already gotten into the institute. It is full of excitement, a lot of excitement, because this is entirely a different world. New college, you're going to have new friends, you're going to have new courses. Engineering is a different ball game compared to what all you have gone through so far. So this is going to really give you a lot of excitement, because anything new, by the time you come to terms with that newness, you know, the time is well spent. Because if you are serious about what you want to do in your life, I think you will always look at things very, very positively, analytically, and then try to absorb as many things as possible which come on your way while you are traveling on the locus or on the focused path that is laid out for you. You must be feeling elated. You must be feeling very, very happy. You must be feeling that you are different. You must be feeling that you have stood out amongst the total gathering, where you have scored some good marks, where you have got the admission in engineering college. And today and tomorrow, come what may, you are going to be a person who will have a kind of a qualification which will qualify you to be in the upper 3 or 5% of the total Indian population. Please understand, you will have not realized it, that as an engineer on a bachelor's thing, you may get classified in the upper 5 or upper 10%, let us assume it. But if you do the further post graduation, you come down to upper 5%, etc. And which should give you a lot of confidence that I have come at a stage of my life which is going to really give me all those perquisites or benefits of what all I am going to become. But then just getting in is not getting out with all those perquisites or all those this thing. There is going to be a lot many things which are involved in that, and you will have to really take all those things in stride, take cognizance of what exactly is happening around you, and then only you will come out to be a brighter engineer as such. Well, when you're talking of this first year, it reminds me definitely of my first year way back in 1970, almost how many, 54 years ago. And I was equally excited as to what exactly is going to happen, because engineering is, as I said, it's a professional game. You are going to acquire so many skills here which are going to really make you stand out amongst the crowd, and people are going to look at you with a lot of respect. And as I said, that if you need to command that kind of a respect, you will have to really struggle, or maybe you have to put in a lot of effort so that you can really come out very, very clean and knowledgeable and intellectually different than others, slightly on the higher scale. Now things are going to be entirely different. A lot of hard work is going to be required, as I have been saying again and again, because There are going to be several courses. The number of courses every year, maybe 10, 12. I don't know what are the curriculums. But ultimately, during the 4 years' time, you are going to master almost 40 to 50 plus courses. And they are going to be running in different streams. It could be mechanical, it could be electrical, it could be electronics, it could be information technology, it could be metallurgy, it could be civil engineering, whoever takes whatever kind of a branch. But then under that, there is going to be a lot of basic layers of science and mathematics, which is going to be understood by you all. Because as we say that you specialize after a certain number of years that you have put in the college of 4 years, but the basic foundation level layer is created right in the first year, where you will have all kinds of statistical probability, mathematics, science subject, material strength of material, what we say, fluid dynamics and things like that, thermodynamics, so on, so much. So many subjects are going to be there. They are going to be entirely different. They are going to be really totally new as far as you are concerned. But don't think that they are all irrelevant. They are going to prepare your foundation before you get into a particular branch of your choice. So focus on all these subjects very, very clearly, and then think where exactly you would like to go, and accordingly you choose the kind of a seriousness that you have to put in what kind of a subject, etc. These 4 years will decide your future. Everyone knows that. Whatever you do in these 4 years is definitely going to be a factor which will be detrimental to the kind of a career that you are going to choose. And how well you spend these 4 years will really decide whether you are going to classify in that zone or not. Because everyone is going to go through that. And I am also fully aware of a fact that everyone cannot be same as far as intellectual level is concerned. But let there not be too much of a difference between number one rank person or number 100 rank person or number 200 rank person or number 300 rank person. There could be a marginal difference in understanding. There could be marginal difference in IQ or intellectual capacity or this thing. But let it not be too much different, because then you lag amongst your peers, you lag amongst your friends, and then you start getting different vibes, and therefore you may get that feeling of depression or frustration that hey, mala zamat nahi hai, or these things are not possible for me. Nothing like that. When I'm talking about engineering, please understand it is full of logic. Everything is logical. And as long as you really try to understand the logic behind everything, engineering is going to be a very, very simple task. And you will remember all these words of mine, because when you apply logic, you are taking a whole lot of decisions. And when you are taking those decisions, you are doing a lot of analysis of facts and figures and things like that. And then you are arriving at a hypothesis, or you are arriving at a decision, or you are arriving at a solution, or whatever that you may have it. So when tomorrow, after 4 years, when you are faced with a particular problem, you are going to repeat all these steps of 4 years that you have gone through. That what was the foundation, what was the analytics, what was the diagnosis, what was the decision making principles that you adopted during these 4 years, and then ultimately the solution offering. And in solutions also, for every problem, there could be at least one solution, which I always believe in, but there could be many more. It totally depends on your intellectual capacity as to how quickly you reach to that particular solution. So when somebody says here that a problem doesn't have any solution, I don't believe in that, because every problem has at least one solution, if not many. And as I said, your intellectual capacity will decide how quickly you reach that solution, if not many more solutions. Now the job becomes a little more critical when you have three or four solutions. At that time, you will have to attach probabilities and evaluate the benefits of each solution, or what we say cost benefit analysis, and then try to implement that, which is where the subjects of probability, permutation, combination, statistics, and all these figures, all these subjects will come into picture. And which is what I was saying, that don't consider any of these subjects which are being taught to you are not relevant to what you are going to do as an engineering. Because ultimately, as I said, engineering is nothing but basic logic, analytics, diagnosis, problem solving and solution, and decision making. Now, for a decision making, all these basic foundational courses are very, very necessary. Mathematics is necessary, statistics is necessary, probability is necessary, permutation combination is necessary, science are necessary, so many other things which you will be taught. Look at it very, very seriously, because ultimately everything is going to revolve around a semester or trimester, whatever that you may have as a system. But then you are going to have that focus 6 months or 4 months given to only those subjects. So the task is not for all 40 subjects you are going to pull it in first 6 months. The task is only few subjects which have been assigned as a part of your curriculum. You have to focus only on that. And once you complete those 6 months, thereafter you go to the next batch of additional courses. So when you have these 6 months and you have maybe 5 or 6 courses, focus on that and try to go deeper as much as possible, so that you at least are 60 to 70% conversant of that entire subject as such. Because ultimately what happens that nobody expects you to learn or take education in the form of mugging, in the sense पाठ करून काही engineering होत नाही. Engineering is analytics, and it is always referred to, meaning so many books you are seeing behind me, it's a real thing. It's not a virtual background. Now, whenever I get a problem, I go and refer to a particular book. So engineering teaches you as to which book you should refer, and what chapter you should be looking at. So ultimately, when you are going to refer that particular book and refer that particular chapter, you are going to come around with certain hypotheses, theorems, or whatever it is, and then you can find the solution. So don't mug it up, but at least have that core understanding of each subject. 60 to 70% of that, balance 30%, you can always have a reference, because nobody is going to say at a gunpoint that give me solution right now in next 5 minutes. No, any problem which is given to us, we always say that give me a day, I'll come back to you, or something like that. Because they will involve a lot of finances, they will involve a lot of decision making, they will involve a lot of ecosystem consequences and things like that. So in real time, nobody expects you to give you a solution just in 5 minutes or 1 minute or something like that. It only happens in interviews where they ask you question and they understand whether you come in that ballpark, whether you are taking the right direction or not. To that extent, as I said, 60 to 70% of knowledge for each subject has to be totally understood by you. Don't mug it up. Meaning, mugging and giving examination and scoring numbers will not make you a good engineer. Please understand. You may have seen that movie Three Idiot. In that Three Idiot, the message was simple: that run after knowledge, don't run after degrees, or don't run after marks. Of course, when you have knowledge, you will definitely get marks. But chasing knowledge is the priority. Don't chase marks. My simple and advice is that I never stood first, but I didn't do bad in my career. I got selected where I was supposed to get selected, and I made a good life out of what all I did. But I never ran after those percentages, or I never ran after the rankings or things like that. But I ran certainly after knowledge. And the proof is all these books. Nobody carries so many books these days in their own personal library. And I'm very passionate about these books. Have that kind of a passion of acquiring that knowledge. Read as many books as possible. The institute has spent a lot of money in your library, where they have acquired all kinds of books coming around from around the world, from the best of the authors who have spent a number of years in writing those books. At least go and glance through those books. You will get tremendous insight, which you may not get anywhere else. Of course, the today's world is digital, where you just go to Google or you get into a chat GPT, ask a specific question. But that takes away the total entertainment, or total, you can say, fun of going through that process of finding a solution. ChatGPT makes you lazy, because you ask a specific question, he digs out. Meaning you are making ChatGPT intelligent rather than you becoming an intelligent. Because today and tomorrow, when you don't have that mobile or a laptop, what would you do? Your mind has to behave like a ChatGPT. So train your mind. ChatGPT will come at a much later stage. Don't rely on ChatGPT or Google at this particular stage. Rely on these books. Go through those books, because you won't get this time again. These 4 years are very, very important. And I am going to give you all these tips because I have done it, and I'm going to narrate at the somewhere in between that what are those things which help me out in carving my life today. And if you go through my LinkedIn profile, you will understand what all I have done in my lifetime. And if you can match that, I think you should be very, very happy. I won't say that it is a must, but then at least it can become a benchmark for you. Can at least achieve that, if not more. So when we are saying that there is a lot of excitement, you'll have to work towards that. Go for the basic principles where you nurture your mind to think rather than somebody else performing that thinking, a digital tool performing that thinking. You ensure that you start thinking, your brain start thinking about it. Otherwise, what will happen that it will always take that shortcut and go to mobile, open chat gpt, get an answer. So you may stand out in a class, but then ultimately you are bluffing yourself. And the most dangerous thing in life is bluffing your own self, because you know for sure that this is not the answer which you found. This was the answer which a tool found for you. And that is not what you are supposed to do at this age. Today, as I said, that maybe you can use it when you reach my age, or maybe slightly 10 years younger to me, when everything else you have seen the world, you have seen it, done it, and experienced it. At that time, when there is a lot of urgency or whatever it is, at that time you may resort to that. But right now, the stage is of development. You are developing your personality, you're developing your traits, you're developing your organs, the mental wellness part of it. See to it that it keeps absorbing it. It really analyzes things. Make it a habit. The way we say that we have to do exercise and then we remain fit. So our mind also needs exercise. And what is that exercise? You'll have to start kicking it. Start giving problems to the mind, it will start thinking. You may have found that there are some people who are very good at solving quizzes, and they keep doing that every day because they practice. For them, the exercise to the mind is solving the problems every day. It could be in the form of a small quiz, it could be a form of a sudoku or whatever it is. But keep your mind very, very active. This is the first and very, very important thing which I want to tell you, because today we are talking about all these aspects. Whether, in our childhood, we used to always say that bane or boon, take a topic. So technology, whether it is a bane or boon. My granddaughter was given an essay, a day without technology, and she wrote in such a manner that she stood first in Pune city, because she imagined the life without technology, and then consequences of that which will happen on the younger mind. She is only in ninth class. Please understand that student or the children at that age are thinking about not going technology way. So you sitting there in a very, very prime educational background, you want to create for yourself. Do not let your mind relax. Do not let your mind become lazy. Do not let your mind be paralyzed by any of these digital tools. Let that be an accessory. We always say, what is accessory? Accessory is not the main equipment. The main equipment, if I say scooter, maybe a carrier could be an accessory. So treat all these tools as accessories, not as a mainstay. So going beyond that, as I said, that there's going to be a lot of hard work. These 4 years are going to decide your future. How will you spend it? I touched the topic of reading. I touched the topic of you going to the library. I touched the topic of you relying on your own mind rather than any digital tools and so on and so forth. And in these 4 years, what all you should be doing, I'm going to spend some more time in telling you some guidelines. I will try to give it to you. And even if you retain them in some form and understand that what are these guidelines meant for, today or tomorrow, you will realize what I'm talking. I'm only talking out of my experience. This is not coming from any book or whatever it is. What all helped me, I'm going to tell you. And I personally feel that I have reasonably done very well in my life. And someone may like to become at least that, if not more. So I'm giving you a recipe for success. I'm giving you a recipe to become a professional. I'm going to give you guidelines to help you out in carving your own careers. So please do not neglect any of these tips which I'm going to do. Following I classified all these things under certain you can say heads, and then they need to be looked at, noted, remembered, acknowledged, and implemented also. Like for example, you have to understand that this world is very very competitive. When you come out, you will realize that this world is very very competitive. For everything there are 10 people who are already in the queue, and which you must be experiencing it everywhere. Common entrance test, or whether the common admission test, CAT, going for post graduation, going for IITs, JEE, or a central examination test, and things like that. The number of participants are in lakhs and lakhs, and of which there are a couple of thousands who are going to be selected for any course or for any profession, for any job, or for whatever that opportunity which is prevalent in the market. So what I'm trying to say that this world is going to be very, very competitive outside, and even within the premises you have a very very healthy competition amongst your peers in the classmates. All 350 of you are going to pursue the same objective of taking that rank 1, rank 2, scoring distinction, or whatever it is. So among the same group there are going to be leaders, there are going to be followers, there are going to be people of average, there are going to be people of very high intellectual capacity and things like that. Now, when we classify all these hierarchies of intellectualism, at that time, you have to understand that this comes only out of competitive spirit. And you have to be very, very optimistic in understanding that kind of a competition. Do not get complacent. So, what if there is a competition? I will overpower. Don't underestimate somebody who's standing right beside you. He may look very deceptive, but he may be 10 times better than you. So, take that as a part of your package or a baggage, that I am going to stand in competition. I am in no way in a monopolistic situation that I can decide what will happen to my life. No. When you are getting into an ecosystem, there are people who will decide what you will become. Yes, you will be able to contribute and you will be able to work it out. अभिमन्यू असणार आहे तुमच्या भोवती, चक्रव्यूह असणार आहे. ते चक्रव्यूह भेदायचं कसं याचं तुमच्याकडे इंटेलेक्च्युअल नॉलेज येणार आहे, आणि ते मिळवण्याकरता हे पुढील 4 वर्ष तुम्हाला हे स्पेंड करावे लागणार आहे. बट प्लीज अंडरस्टँड देर इज गोइंग टू बी अ चक्रव्यूह एव्हरीवेअर. So, sorry, if some people understand Hindi, I'll speak in Hindi as well. No problem. So, the world is going to be totally competitive outside. And when in a competitive environment, what we always use that word hatke, you need to be unique. You need to be different. In some form, you need to be different. Why should somebody look at you? There has to be that, what we say in marketing terms is the USP, unique selling proposition. So you have to have your own USP, that yes, I will be looked at whenever I get into a crowd for my whatever that contribution. So that uniqueness you need to create, if at all you need to withstand that competition. There is another thing which I'm jumping on to, which will be a decision making, which you will be doing it 4 years hence, that there are not going to be too many jobs. I have been giving several lectures on this entrepreneurship, because statistically, whatever amount of investment the government may do, whatever kind of a GDP that we achieve, whatever kind of a economical status that we achieve as a country, the number of students who are graduating in India from various universities are too many. And today, there are no boundaries. Somebody from Kerala is going to come to Maharashtra, somebody is going from Maharashtra going to Kerala. So it is all flexible. There are no boundaries. It's a flat screen. And people are going to move around from here to there. They don't require a visa to go around. So you are going to have that kind of a competition. You are going to have that kind of a scarcity as far as job is concerned. Because if you're aiming for a particular job, for that job, there could be 100 applicants. Meaning, you will not believe, I'm talking about you being an engineer and going in. The other day, I was discussing with one of the universities. They had advertised for a position of vice chancellor. Can you believe how many applications they have received? They have received 150 applications for a post of vice chancellor. And a vice chancellor has 2 lines of degrees. He may be basically, he has to be a minimum PhD, he has to have so much of experience and things like that. So, what I'm saying is that even at that level, there is a crowd. So, when we are talking of a bachelor or a master, engineer or manager or whatever, there is going to be the number is going to be pretty large. So, you have to choose, you have to decide today before you complete those 4 years, whether you should be training yourself for a job or whether you should be training yourself for a startup, whether you should be training yourself for entrepreneurship or what exactly you would like to do. Normally, what happens that people are indecisive at the end of the 4th year, so they start pursuing postgraduate education. Once they do postgraduate education, at that time also they are indecisive. They go and further pursue PhD. After PhD, they do postdoctoral. I've seen some people who are doing double PhD, double postdoctoral, and they spend, by the time they do all these things, they cross that age of 30, 35. I do not in any way indicating that the guys who have done PhD or postdoctoral are doing it always because of this reason. No. There are people who have chosen to be a teacher. There are people who have chosen to be a scholar or a scientist or whatever it is. They, by choice, they have become that. But there is a lot of other students who are pursuing educations overseas or wherever they are. So they are not able to take certain calls because they did not do their homework at this stage, which I am telling you to do right now. It could be a very, very premature decision, but try to understand. Now, how would you do that? There are, again, tools available for analyzing one's own personality. The psychologists have prepared a tool called psychometry. Now, each one of you can easily get into a psychometric analysis of oneself in which more than 90 to 100 traits of a personality are identified or analyzed. And based on that, a 20 to 30-page report is generated. Now, these tests are available online. If somebody wants, I can give that recommendation, and those people will be very happy to conduct for your entire batch an online test, which could run into an hour or two maximum. But then thereafter, they will publish that report. And if any of you are interested in understanding that report, they will be able to consult you on that particular thing at a very, very marginal fee. Now, what does that report come out and say? Whether you are an extrovert, whether you are an introvert, whether you are good in engineering, whether you are good in management, whether you are going to go to a leadership position, not whether you would like to take a function, because in an organization when you're working, some people have that liking for manufacturing, some people have liking for marketing, some people have an engineering liking, R&D, and so on and so forth. So what is that is there in my body at this particular moment, what my mind really is capable of doing. Now, why I'm asking you to map your personality, because if you come out through that particular report that you are an extrovert person, you are going to be terribly good as far as marketing job is concerned. So you have your path laid out right now, that you do your engineering, thereafter you do management, and then in management you take marketing as a subject. But then if it turns out that you could be a very good engineer and can contribute a lot in research, innovation, and development sort of a thing, your life is set right now here itself. So you focus on all engineering subjects as if you are going to do further research on some branch of this engineering. You are going to pursue a master's, you are going to pursue a PhD, and then get into a R&D organization or any such setup to conduct that research. But then knowing who you are psychologically, clinically, is a must. So you work that thing out. I will help through your management in providing the resources who could come maybe at the institute or maybe conduct wherever possible, and then analyze that who am I and what I will excel in. So if your traits are good for a particular function, and if you pursue that function, you will excel in that function much faster than anybody else. So whether you're good for job, whether you're good for business, or they will analyze everything and they will put it across to you. So you need to understand that there are not going to be many jobs, and that option you will have to exercise now, whether you are going to pursue that job, or whether you are going to pursue entrepreneurial thing, or whether you are going to pursue in a job teaching profession, a research profession, because there is hundreds of combinations which are available. It is like getting into an exhibition, a large exhibition. If suppose you go to Bombay for an industrial exhibition, there are 5,000 stalls, there are six buildings. Now, if you have to cover this exhibition in one day, you cannot be visiting all 5,000 stalls. So you will have to sit down today, make a homework in which hall, which room, which stall is there, which will be beneficial to me. It is the same way I'm telling you that your life, if you treat it as an exhibition, then in that exhibition, which stall you should be taking for that, what kind of a roadmap you should be taking, etc., can be done now. And this will give you tremendous amount of confidence as to who am I understanding right now. Please do that exercise so that you will not get confused when you complete 4 years, because then your path is laid out right now. Next 4 years, you are going to work towards that. And I'm going to add some more things in that, because it is not only conducting a test, but then, as I said, that I want you to note, remember, acknowledge, and implement. So if you analyze yourself something, that has to be registered, acknowledged that I am so and so. Once you acknowledge that, there have to be certain strategies which have got to be implemented so that you become that person tomorrow. How? We will discuss that in a few minutes. Now, there is going to be a mindset change which is going to be required based on the thinking which I have been trying to talk to you. And when you are talking about that mindset change, you will automatically get the options open. Don't close your mind. If somebody has a family business, yes, he has a runway. So his life is already decided if he pursues that. But these days, I have been really mentoring so many parents, so many children of their parents, these parents, to go for family business rather than trying to create his own or her own. There are several such cases there. Day in, day out, I have been mentoring so many people on these subjects. So there are going to be options which you'll have to work out. The next step, which I'm trying to give it to you, is the digital literacy. You need to be digitally literate because most of you are, but you have become literate in a manner which is not fully organized. Become a fully organized, digitally literate. It's a must. Understand all the platforms, understand all the tools which are going to be available, because you are going to play around with technologies which are going to be AI driven. There are going to be AI driven learning platforms. Right now, I'm working on a capsule on smart manufacturing, which is AI enabled. At my age, I'm doing that. So at your age, you should be doing 10 times more than what I am doing. There are going to be various simulation techniques which are going to be used. In MMCOE, I know for sure there are going to be these CIII is there, Center for Innovation, Incubation, and what is that third I stands for? And in that, you have several labs which are available. Simulation is one technique where you don't have to actually produce something. You can simulate and decide whether that is good or bad. You have to learn about the collaborating tools also. You have to understand the platforms, coding platforms, because today is the world of mechatronics, which involves mechanical, which involves electronics, which involves robotics, and which also involves computer engineering. If suppose you imagine an automotive car, today an automotive the vehicle has more than 50 to 60% electronics in that. The other day, I had just gone to select this career path for my grandson, and he's very much interested in doing only mechatronics. So if he has to do mechatronics, he has to understand four things which I told you just now: mechanical, electronics, robotics, automation, and computer engineering. In which There will be programming, hardware, software, both. So you need to work on certain codes also at this stage, because today you have time to understand. If the curriculum does not give you that input, please go outside and get those courses done up online. There are several YouTube courses which are available, which you can sit at home every day, 1 hour you spend. Just imagine in a year you are getting 300 hours. In 4 years' time, you will getting 1,200 hours of learning online from anywhere else, which is not being taught on your this curriculum. These 1,200 hours you will not get any time in your lifetime once you pass out from here. Don't always say कि भाई आज छोड़ो कल देखेंगे. No, leave that behind. You be in a hurry that I want to do this, I want to do that. Make a complete shopping list and then try to work out. But then please remember, as I said, that tools are as powerful only for the usage. Do not let your mind lazy around. These are going to be accessories which you will have to really work it out. So, digital literacy in an organized manner, you have it, because even at this age today, I'm talking to you on an online platform. When I'm saying at this age, just know it that I'm 73 years old. So I operate all the latest tools from my mobile as well as from my laptop, because it's the need of the hour. I need to have. Without this, I couldn't be doing this particular webinar or induction program with you guys, and I would have missed this opportunity of really talking to you young future nation building students. You know, it gives me a lot of joy coming back to you guys and trying to talk to you of what all I really went through was different than what all you are going to go through. So, digital literacy is something that you should be keeping close to your heart and then work it out for that. There are going to be a lot of technological advancements every year. The rate of obsolescence is much faster in your age. As I have been always saying, is that between me and my father, we had one generation. Between me and my son, we have 10 generation gap. And between me and my grandson, we have 100 generation gaps. Because what he's doing in what he did in 10th standard, we did not do in even second year of engineering. My granddaughter is in ninth standard is doing triple integration, which we did in second year of engineering. So you can imagine the kind of advancements which have happened, and these advancements are going to define our era. And if we do not cope up with these advancements in technology, then you are going to have a lot of problems. Again, the advancements in AI and ML, these terms are very familiar to you, artificial intelligence and machine learning, data and analytics. Today, data which has got 4 or 5 verticals in which we do analytics, we do mining, we do service, we do monetizing, and we also do warehousing of data. Now, data plays a fantastic role in decision making, and there are so many tools or platforms available for doing data analytics. Have a browse through, if not in the curriculum, some kind of additional knowledge if you can acquire on data and analytics, that will help you. Robotic and automation also, I told it to you, told you that manufacturing today has virtually become robotized. We are talking of smart manufacturing, industry fourth generation, fifth generation, in which machines talk to machine. What we use the term as a cyber physical. So human interference is far too less. Why this is happening? There is a big topic on that. I've been giving lectures so many places. Very recently, I spoke in Vietnam on smart manufacturing and why everyone should be looking at India as the global manufacturing hub. But in that, a simple logic which I'm trying to give it to you is that today India has become a global manufacturing hub. When you make a global manufacturing hub status, you require to produce lot many quantities. You have to scale up your production, and you cannot scale up your production manually. So it has to be automated, it has to be digitized, it has to be robotized. So robotics and automation plays a maximum role. The next thing which is coming is the climate control, sustainability, advancement in technologies. Whatever you do has to be green. Whatever you do has to be sustainable. Then only it will get approved by the government. And the green technologies are getting predominance over anything else. So if that becomes a part of your curriculum, please understand and work on that and take that as an elective. If not, do something additional. Always, I have been telling you that whatever is in curriculum, you will have to do. You'll have to go through that this thing. But if you can acquire all these things additionally, that will make you a different person altogether. And which is what is the uniqueness which I told you right in the beginning, that if you have to be in the marketplace, you have to be unique, you have to be different. In which way you will become different? These are the ways you can really acquire these kind of skills and then become different. There are going to be different frontiers which are getting opened. In our times, they were not so much available. Space and aerospace. Today, you have been reading a lot on this. We are one of the leaders as far as space missions are concerned. We are also doing very good in aerospace and defense. These are the sectors which are there. So read. If you can't spend so much time on that, at least read what is happening as far as technologically advanced this thing, in which you have drones and satellites and rockets and things like that, missiles, what kind of those equipments which are available as far as defense are concerned. And as I said, smart manufacturing, advanced technologies in that they come into picture. And these are the things you have to keep in sync with. Because when you, as an engineer, are sitting in a forum, these technological terms or these kind of phrases are going to be used just like that. And if you're not there in that ballpark, if you do not understand these technologies, you will be totally lost. Although you may be knowing that, but then you need to be going much more closer to understanding these technologies rather than just knowing it on a peripheral basis. There is what this means for you as students. When we are talking about so many advancement in technologies and things like that, what exactly the students have got to do with that? You have to be curious and open-minded, naturally, which is what I've been saying it. Because that look around, what is happening? The recent war between India and Pakistan, in 3.5 days, we proved our superiority as far as defense equipment is concerned, as far as superiority in technology, engineering, and so on. So many things were proven at that time. And at that time, the amount of material which was available for reading, I have gone through that. And today I can really give a session on that of 2 hours as to the technological advancement in defense equipment as far as India is concerned. So you have to get into that, because this is the moment you can go through some 10 articles and understand what exactly happened, why it happened, etc. So you have to be curious and open minded. Then you build strong fundamentals. I've been saying again and again, the foundation is going to be very, very important. The bigger the foundation or the stronger the foundation, the high rise you can create is going to be much taller than anything else. But if you create a foundation for a two-story building, you can't create a 10-story building on that. So you create a very, very good or rather build a very, very strong foundation. You have to be adaptable to the environment. Whatever is happening around you, you need to adapt to that. You cannot say, no, this is not for me. No, you're making a mistake. Wherever you say no, you fall out of the queue, or you fall out of the line, or you fall out of the race. Don't say no. No is a big decision. Don't take it casually. Before saying no, think 10 times. Can I convert it to yes? Yes, I can do it. So think about that and then work it out. So be adaptable to this thing. Thinking is something which I have been always saying. When I say analytics or when I say decision making, it involves a lot of thinking, and which is where I'm asking you to develop your mind so that it becomes analytical, it becomes very agile, it is always active mode, and it keeps on analyzing things and then taking decisions, which are going to be two things which I'm going to say very, very important as far as thinking is concerned. One is ethical, and second is responsible. Ethics plays a lot in your life. So is responsible. Today, whatever I am standing here, everyone, not only in India, but globally, everyone knows that if you give it to Goswami, it is going to be absolutely ethical. So, whether it is my character, whether it is my integrity, whether it is my personality, whether it is my professionalism, or whether it is my companies, everyone knows that we do not do anything other than ethical dealing. We are always responsible for what we do. And we are always, the moment you talk about responsibility, accountability comes, is the other side of the same coin. So if a coin has one side as responsibility, the other side is accountability. And the moment you always keep these things with you, that I have to think ethically, train your mind to think only ethically. And for that, I will go back to that thinking of ChatGPT thing. That if you train your mind, it works exactly like that. If you train your mind to always look for shortcuts, it will always look at for shortcut. It will not take you to the route which is correct. A shortcut is never or not always a good solution. Go by the first principles and arrive at a hypothesis and decision making, you will never fail. Because that hypothesis is backed up by all the basics, first principles of that total logic process. So, therefore, develop ethical and responsible thinking. And the most important part, as I said, that whenever we talk about ecosystem, the ecosystem decides who you should be. So, what is my responsibility in that? That I must learn to work in a team because you are not a Tarzan. You are not floating in a jungle. You are floating in human beings. There, in a company, there are 3,000 employees. In a college, you have 10,000 students there. And every time you are interacting with somebody or some teams or some groups or things like that, you have to understand the group dynamics and play a role in that group dynamics that people choose you as a leader. If not leader, at least they will say that, yes, this guy applies his mind, he listens to everyone and then gives out a solution. He is not a dictator. He is not a Hitler, or he is not an authoritarian person or autocratic person, or he doesn't obey any logic. He is adamant, arrogant. Don't get those negative adjectives attached to your personality. Learn to operate in groups, learn to operate in teams. This may sound conflicting because the right in the beginning I said the world outside is totally competitive. The moment I said that the world is competitive, it doesn't mean that they are all your enemies. No. Competition always keeps you trim, slim, fit. In Monopoly, Portsutta. Because then you relax. That's not good. And it is not, longevity of Monopoly is not too much. Whereas in competition, you remain always fresh. Because every day you're thinking, every day you're putting additional inputs. So when we are saying this, please understand everything has got to be understood in totality. Don't take it in isolation. When I say that there's going to be competition, the guy sitting right next to you is your enemy. No, he may compliment you in competition. I have always loved competition, and you will not believe for the same tender in Goa, I stayed in the same room with my competitor because we belong to two different companies of the same group. I said, why do we spend money of our owners unnecessarily? You don't look at my bag, I won't look at your bag. To that extent, that's privacy. If we keep it, everything is fair, and that is how you will have to look at it very, very broadly. Maybe in today's age or maturity, you may not be able to comprehend this, but understand competition is not bad. Competition is healthy. Competition makes you grow. And at the same time, you have to see to it that you are not going to work alone. There is always going to be teams and learn to work in teams. So this exactly means a lot to you based on what we discussed on the digital literacy, technological advancement, and not too many jobs, entrepreneurship, etc., etc. The another thing which I'm talking, which I think we preempted earlier also, if you can set your vision, okay, what I would like to become, a ballpark. Somebody had asked me, okay, what is your vision? What exactly you would like to be? I said, I've just postgraduated and just 2, 3 years in job. How can I set my vision? He said, no, there must be some kind of a target that you must be having it. So I'm talking about 1982. And when I went to that person's office, his Mercedes Benz was standing in the porch. So I told him, "Okay, I would like to own a Mercedes." That becomes a vision, that becomes a target. It may be a materialistic objective, but to acquire a Mercedes, it took me 26 years after that. So there is a 26 years of toil, hard work, labor, putting everything right, and then you become one. So set your vision, set your goals. Maybe at some other point of time, I will tell you how to set a vision, how to set the goals, etc., and work towards it. Let us see how that exercise gets completed. Right in the first year, if you can do this particular exercise of analyzing your personality, set your vision, set your goals, I think you have a target to achieve in next 4 years' time. And I'm 100% sure you will not waste a single hour, because the agenda or the work list is going to be that sequentially achieved every year. You will target tick mark each and every target that you had decided right in the first year. There is one additional thing which I would like to tell you, that most of the times I have never found people missing on contents. Everyone knows subject, but the problem comes in communication. Problem comes in soft skills. Problem comes in language. Problem comes in grammar. Problem comes in expression. Today, 50 years of experience, I'm lashing out to you. It's almost 45 minutes I've already clocked, and I'm talking to you nonstop. Why I could do that? Because I have developed that proficiency on language, on grammar, on expression, on contents, on logical building, on orientation. I'm building up a story based on the knowledge which I have acquired in last 50 years. Now, this is what is missing in most of the students because they don't work on themselves. You may be very good engineer individually, and when I say that you are working in a team, you will have to express that engineering knowledge in the team to convince them on a particular hypothesis, theorem, or a problem solving solution, and things like that. If you cannot express yourself, what is happening in your mind, because there is always a lag. Your mind is running at 20 kilometers an hour and your language is running at 2 kilometers an hour. Just imagine the lag. By the time you complete this sentence, that has gone to the third octave of thinking. And that is where the confusion starts happening. And that is where the entire story gets messed up. So acquire soft skills. This may not be part of your curriculum, but nothing stops you from learning languages. Nothing stops you from going to public speaking because these days public speaking is a must. You must know how to operate in a group. So group discussion, personal interviews, soft skills, effective communication, written, oral, everything, report writing, letter writing, email writing. There are protocols you have to follow. You have to learn all these things in these 4 years. How you should learn that, I think I leave it to you to chart out your timetable. And once you put that timetable, I think you will definitely do it because you have selected a very serious profession, and in that serious profession there are no shortcuts. And if at all you want to make best out of that, as I said, if the time has to be well spent, you will have to do all this, what I've done. There is a message which I would like to give it to you, which should inspire you. That engineering is not just about machines, codes, or circuits. It is about people. It is about design. It is about innovation. And all these things, whatever you do, they impact human lives. Please understand that. Please also remember that you are going to be the architects in our nation building tomorrow. And we are aiming to become the third largest economy, if not the second largest economy tomorrow, in the years to come, maybe by 2030, when you will be in profession. You would have come out of the institutes, done all your education, and got into the profession. So you are going to be the architects of this nation building, reaching it to the second position, third position, 10 trillion, 20 trillion, whatever that it could be. So take that as a part of the inspiration and then work towards that. I think I have given you a lot many things as a concept. Maybe it will be too little a time to cover the entire lifespan, but then I would like to give certain headers, a couple of important traits that help me in my career. I'm just going to read it out because a lot I have explained it to you. The first one, which I think is very necessary, is hard work and discipline. There is no substitute to this. There is no compromise which one expects on that. You need to be very optimist. You have to have a positive mindset. मगाशी मी म्हणालो की that don't say no just like that. Think that you can do it. So that is optimism. Stay focused. Have your vision, have your goal, have your line of actions, roadmap decided, and work towards that. Develop that habit of accepting challenges. I like somebody saying that this can't be done. I would have given it 10,000 examples of such things that so many people said that this can't be done. I have picked up that and I have demonstrated that it can be done. So I don't like somebody saying that something cannot be done. Like I told you, that this problem is unsolvable. No, I don't believe in that. Every problem has at least one solution, if not many. That statement also I made it. So accept challenges. There is another saying which I always convey to my people, which my teacher taught me, that only busy people find time. This today you may not understand because I didn't understand then. But then later on today, I realize that the more busy I am, the more time I have because I'm busy in completing the assignments and my turnaround is much faster. So whenever somebody asks me about my status or as far as schedules are concerned, I say I'm busy, but I have time. I have never said no to anybody, any institute asking me to give lectures to students because that is my passion. At the same time, I believe in this particular thing that if I'm busy, I have time. So accept challenges, whether it is time, whether it is assignment, or whether it's something which is required to be done. There is another aspect which you will have to develop that you cannot be doing only one task at a time. You have to be running 150 horses at one point of time because as I said, the global competitiveness is there. So you have to be a guy doing multitasking. I will only simply give it to you that you once you go through my profile, you will understand that I have done music, I have done sports, I have done sketches as an artist, I have done education, I'm teaching, I'm mentoring, I'm doing startups, I'm doing mergers, acquisitions, I'm doing collaborations, I'm doing foreign offices, so on and so forth. So at the same time, all these things are happening. And maybe that is keeping me healthy also. So have that multitasking habits. Homework is something which is very, very important. Whenever you are going for a particular meeting or wherever you are going for a class, your homework for that particular day has got to be ready so that you find it very, very interesting and this thing. So homework is something which I have been very, very meticulous about. Most important, 4 years you are going to spend. Technical competence is going to be something which will make you stand out because so many people talk so many things. Sometimes they are logical, most of the time they're illogical because they do not take the help of technology or technical competence, and which is where you will be different. If at all you have a very, very strong technical competence, and for which you have 4 years to really become master in your engineering subject. Like I said, working in teams, which also means interpersonal relationships. And everyone says that I have no enemy, which means I have friends only. There could be people who envy me, who are jealous with me, but they are not my enemies. But then I stand out as far as competition is concerned. I stand out as far as interpersonal relations are concerned. And relationships are not only at par or for that matter with peers, only not only with my age. I have several students who are my friends also. They feel so happy, they feel so accessible, they feel so light when they talk to me. They say that we normally get so much tension when we are trying to talk to you, but you are so accessible. It makes us as if we are talking to our family members. So interpersonal relationships are very, very important. The most important thing, if at all you need to survive, is good health and fitness. Today, at the age of 73, I'm really talking to you nonstop for last 1 hour without even a glass of water or whatever it is. It happens only because of good health and fitness. Even at this age, I do not take any tablet. I have nothing on my body. Maybe because the chemicals are flowing in a positive manner, because I take everything in a positive manner. I don't have too many headaches because I take things at a face value that if something has to happen, it will happen, come what may. So why worry about it? So if it comes, we know how to solve it, how to circumvent it. This world is full of problems. Don't expect that you are going to have a lush green lawn everywhere. There are going to be a lot of thorns. There are going to be ups and downs. There's going to be cross country. The moment you accept the fact that this world is going to be turbulent, at that time you will be at peace because whatever that problem comes your way, you solve it. So the crux is that you developing that mindset to solve a particular problem which comes and hits you. That's all. And I cannot forget the alma mater, the College of Engineering, which gave me everything, the Institute IIM Bangalore, which gave me so much. I cannot forget. They made me, they changed me. As I said right in the beginning, that it's a process of personal and professional transformation. I may be good in certain things, but the training which I received in engineering or the training which I received in management really made me a different person because I was very serious about the education which I took. I spent time very, 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 very seriously and sincerely. So, my advice to you is that, in conclusion, take these 4 years seriously, explore, experiment, and expand your horizons. What you are today, become something different in a good way. The future is digital, the future is intelligent, and the future is sustainable. The meanings of that I have already conveyed. And don't forget, I have used that term, you are the architects of our nation, building, taking it to that second position or third position. So take pride in that. Try to, I'm not saying that you join some political party or something. As engineers, we can contribute in the way that we are supposed to. But understand that there are shoulders which are going to be heavy when you come up the ladder as far as becoming that graduate engineer at some place. Thank you very much. I hope I was able to convey things, although I have overshot, maybe I took 1 hour. But then I'm ready to take a few questions if somebody has it.
The students can raise their hand uh, and we'll unmute one by one.
Yeah, please go ahead. If you can show me some videos, I've been talking to myself on the screen. Some good faces, that would be helpful. Keep your video on, please.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, I have one question. Like you said, You gave example of your grandson that he's solving triple integration and all. Sir, a background plays very important role in this. Like a student like me who don't have such an educational background, so they faced a little problem. So, like you said, the generation gap between your son and your grandson is of like 100 generation. Yes, so there
Mm.
are many more things which we can explore, but actually we don't know that we have to explore. Yes, this is only the thing, and we should go for it, or we should learn that this thing. But we don't only know that. Yes, we should learn this. I think you are getting my question.
Yes, I
कि
got your question, and yeah, can
इतना
I
सब
answer?
कुछ है पर हमें पता ही नहीं कि ये भी करना है ये भी है तो उसे कैसे
No.
एक्सप्लोर करें वो ओपन माइंडेड कैसे हो
The thing is that what I told you that you have to develop that habit of reading. Read at least two newspapers, one English, one local vernacular language. You will come to know the subjects which are there. Secondly, in Times of India, if you're reading it, I think on Wednesday or Thursday, there is a supplement which comes which advertises jobs. Okay. In any of these jobs selection, you go through that. They give the list that you should be following. So they give some 8 to 10 requirements. If you compile 100 jobs, they will give you what all are the requirements that you are required to be fulfilled. So your agenda is complete there itself. You will have to do some homework for all these things. Everything is available. Now, whoever does that kind of a homework will come to that solution very, very quickly. And as I said, that you are not alone, Atharva, in this world having problems. There are many people who will be much worse than what you are. At least you are in engineering. There are people who are not qualified to become science graduate or, for that matter, engineers and things like that. Imagine what those students must be doing it. They have tons of problem, but they don't succumb to that. They find their ways out. And how can you find your ways out? By doing this homework. I have given you all the indications of how to really approach this.
यस सर
You don't need to have a background. A farmer's son, I have got so many people who are doing tons of good work in US and all. You go through the profiles of so many big people who have come from villages. So I
यस
don't take where you come from really decides who you would be tomorrow. What will be decided, as I said, that how well you spend these 4 years will decide who you will be.
यस सर
So don't get bogged down by these problems. Problems are going to be there. Start discussing with your friends. Have a club in which every week, 2, 3 hours, you will debate some latest topic. And for that, reading is a
यस
must. As I said, resort to reading rather than going on Google or Chat GPT. Don't acquire, it's an artificial intelligence. The word that artificial is very important. So acquire
यस सर
natural intelligence. And natural intelligence is right there on your top floor. Develop it.
यस सर थैंक यू सो
Uh,
मच सर
yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Myself, Atharva.
Acha, you are Atharva now. Yeah, okay.
So, thank you for your for the guidance. I have basically two questions.
Hmm.
First is related to a book. Which book would be good to understand Industry 4.0? And the
Hmm.
second question is, how do you convert your knowledge and information into an actionable plan and strategy?
The first one, Industry 4.0, you can log on to the this thing. Every book is going to give you the same text as far as 80% of the knowledge is concerned. The 20% will come on the applicability part of it or the industry that they have selected to apply that Industry 4.0.
Okay.
But generally, the concept of Industry 4.0 are same anywhere you go. It is cyber physical. It is use of AI, IoT, acquiring
Okay.
data and then processing it further to increase the productivity. A very simple exercise, one line statement, if at all, I have to give it in Industry 4.0. Repetitive accuracy, scaling up of the production, and reliability part of it. Because of the requirements of the industry, we are going for smart manufacturing. Industry 4 is the fourth generation. fifth generation we have been talking, and now today we are talking of smart manufacturing, AI enabled. So the concepts are changing very, very fast. So don't get stuck to Industry 4.0. Talk about smart manufacturing and AI enabled digitized smart manufacturing. You will come to know many things out of that. Acquire some good books on that. And you can't really pinpoint one book as such.
Okay.
Yeah. The
And sir,
second question, could you, what was the second question? How would you implement your plan into reality, isn't it?
no, no, sir, it was like that, and it was also that how do you convert the knowledge you acquired from your books into an actionable plan and strategy?
Yeah, meaning that you will learn in next 4 years. First of all, as I said, that you have to first of all understand who you are first
Hmm.
by doing that psychometry analysis. Once you decide who you are, thereafter you have to plan your vision. You have to set your goal. And once you set your vision or goal, thereafter you put down your roadmap to achieve that particular goal. And that
Okay.
roadmap will give you all the actions, what you are required to do. Suppose I take it that in your psychometry, you come out as an extrovert person. An extrovert person necessarily will have a trait suitable for marketing. If you have to do marketing, what all is the roadmap that you have to have? That, as I said, that you need to have a language, you need to have expression, you need to understand grammar, you need to be an effective communicator, you need to be a content driven personality. You should be able to convince anybody. You should be able to work in teams. These are the things which you have to start acquiring, which you can do it in next 4 years time. That you create various groups on WhatsApp. Groups are there to throw one garbage from one place to the other, but then physical groups where you sit down in a week 2 hours. We used to do that in hostel. So we sit down, and whatever is the latest topic, like today's topic is tariff by America on India. We discuss it out totally. We may be wrong in debating or whatever it is, but at least develop that habit of discussion. And the moment you start discussing, you prepare for that discussion. Naturally, you go back to books, you read the contents part of it, and then you prepare yourself. So, preparation is a progressive thing which will happen over 3 to 4 years' time. Don't be in a hurry to rush your plan or see the culmination of your plan being achieved in 6 months or 8 months. It has taken me a number of years to come to what place I wanted to be. So, first is that you understand who you are. Secondly, set the goals and then drop the lines, which I gave you with an example of marketing. Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for your valuable experience and opinion.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Who's next? Sneha, Shweta?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
I'm really honored that I am able to talk to you one-on-one. So I just figured out in these 4 5 months of holiday that I really love like the entrepreneurship excites me. So I just want to ask you if I have to get into IIM, what are the extracurricular, like, what are the extra things that would outweigh my portfolio? And what the books I should read to be in that mindset? So,
I told you that to get into IIM, you need to crack the cat. Cat can be only cracked if you develop your IQ, the intelligence quotient. Intelligence, everyone has it. Intelligence with respect to time, that I can solve one problem in 10 minutes. What IIM CAT expects that you should solve that problem in 1 second, 1 minute. So they give you 250 problems to be solved in 20 minutes. That is an IQ test, one of the tests. Then there are skill tests. Then there are communication tests, etc. There are guidance or coaching classes available for getting into all these things. But in all this, as I said, that develop your normal intelligence, not artificial intelligence. Your mind has to be very, very vigilant, and you need to learn to train your mind to get into IIMs. It is not very difficult. What you are doing right now, do it with the complete zeal and zest. That yes, I must understand what is this topic. I must come to a reasonable level of scores, a reasonable level of grade points, and things like that. The moment you build up that sincerity and seriousness, Sneha, nothing is going to be difficult. I always believe that any sincere effort does not go waste. It may not get you the end result the way you wanted it, but it will not fail you, definitely. Maybe you are aiming at I am Calcutta or I am Ahmedabad, you may get somewhere else, something like that. But you will get it, provided you work towards that. And getting into an IIM, there are extracurricular activities and all those things are not very important. What is important is how your mind works, actually. And I've been saying it again and again that all these tools have to be treated as accessories, and your mind has to really work out. Because I'll give you one simple example. In IIM Bangalore, when I was there, we had an open book system, an open book examination also. That I could go to any library in Bangalore and refer any book and then try to answer. But the questions were such that no book would have answered. So, which means what? Your normal intelligence only can help you out. So there was a question on facts and beliefs. Where will you get facts and beliefs related to your own self unless you analyze your life? And in that facts and belief, I wrote for 7 hours that paper because we always used to have open end, open book examination. We come from that system, which is totally unheard of in our institutes here. But what did I write in facts and belief? In Marathi, we say drushta lagne. So, what are the facts and what are the beliefs? So, belief is that drushta lagte. But what are the facts? Because of drushta lagne, बरच काही गोष्टी घडतात. So, I wrote down my entire life experience on that. Okay, what did my grandmother do? What did my mother do when such things happen? So, on that facts and beliefs, I built up a case. I got A plus for that. So this is all natural, which is all has to come from within. So learn to develop your own intelligence. I have been again and again saying it because everyone is becoming slave of the idiot box, laptop, and mobile. Use it, but not for the growth part of it, as an accessory or as an entertainment. Don't spend too much of time. But it is not going to be difficult provided you set your vision, set your goals properly, and read through. My insistence on you reading, wherever you read it from, whether you read articles published on Google or wherever on the libraries, you go to your own library. First of all, understand what all books are there in the library. Have you ever visited your library? Go there, find out. And for every book bought there, somebody has applied mind. Okay, why they have bought it. Sit with the librarian. He knows the best. Is that which book is where. And in your 4 years, I did that. In 2 years of my IIM Bangalore, we had some 16, 17,000 books in our library. I may not have read all those books, but I at least knew which book is where. I have at least glanced through a couple of pages out of those books. Even today, I remember a couple of them. So have that habit of reading newspapers, books, keeping track of the present scenarios, and learn to debate what I was talking to the earlier student as well. Okay?
It's really interesting to see that many students have raised the hands, and we have very limited time. So maybe we could get one question more.
Well, I have time. You can decide what you want, or else they can write these questions and send it to me. I will reply to every question and send it to you.
Yeah, yes, sir. We can surely do that. I think we'll ask Shweta. I'll unmute you, and other students. I request you to please post your questions in the chat, and then we will communicate it to sir and get back to you.
Yeah,
Will that
send it
be
to
okay,
me
sir?
on yeah. Send it to me on email. Even if there are 100 questions, I'll answer all of them, each one.
Thank you so much, sir. I'll mute
Yeah.
Shweta. Let's take one question from us.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. My name is Shweta. I want to
Hi,
ask a
Shweta.
few questions, sir. As an electronic engineer, what type of
Uh-huh.
skills are required to become a successful engineer? Just like a coding is necessary or not in AI era?
That's what I said, actually, Shweta. If you have heard me, that if you're an electronics engineer, if you're pursuing mechatronics, like I told you, that in mechatronics, electronics is there. You need to have mechanical engineering knowledge, you need to have robotic automation, and you need to also be aware of computer engineering, which will have software as well as hardware. So in electronics, for example, my daughter, eldest daughter, she's 46 years now. She's a electronics and telecommunication engineer from PICT. She passed out in 2000, and she has four companies of her own. And she's doing manufacturing of electronic componentry, wiring harness, control panels, relays, switches, control boxes, and things like that. Now, she wanted to be always an entrepreneur, and that is where she decided to work on concepts. So initially she was a networking student. So she created network for global telesystems, etc., installation, a crore worth of way back in 2000. So she was just the best employee and things like that. So as an electronics engineer, you need to define where exactly the opportunities lie. As I said, that the world is full of digital, where AI, ML, all those things are definitely going to play a role in subordination, in the sense they can't be a mainstay, because then you will be changing your course from electronics to IT. So what I am trying to focus you on is the electronics, because the electronics itself is quite a big field in which you could choose mechatronics, you could choose robotics and automation, you could choose manufacturing. There are list of things which you can manufacture, and certainly in electronics there is a lot of scope for innovation. And I have given lectures to DY Patil also on ideation to startup. So if you have an idea, how to take that idea and travel it, make it travel to entrepreneurship exercise and become a startup. And from that startup, how do you become a unicorn or things like that? So I've given a complete path for people. Maybe for your class also, I can conduct that. I have no problem on that. But focus on your engineering if at all you have that aptitude for engineering. Normally what happens, people take engineering as a base and then develop their other part of the skill, which is on the managerial side, the way I had it. Fortunately, I was good at engineering as well as I'm good at management. So that kind of a combination, if you can work it out, fine, then you could select a management job in an engineering company, or you could do an electronic factory of which you could be a CEO, and you know how to manage that business because you have done a management also. So my daughter is similar like yours. She's an electronics and telecommunication engineer, and then she's done her MBA. So she has both the parts. So she knows the domain knowledge as an electronics engineer. She also knows management for operation of businesses. Is that okay with you, Shweta?
Yes, sir. Many students are still posting their questions. We'll get back to you.
Yeah,
Yeah. And this itself shows that the students are definitely responding positively to the
yeah.
session. Thank you so much for sparing your busy time and with us and motivating the students. And the best part was this was definitely an eye opener to the students, I believe, and they will definitely prepare themselves for the challenges they have to face outside the college, which is very important at this stage for them. And one main takeaway is definitely for me also is that the busy people always find time, and this is something maybe probably I'll be taking with me after this session. Thank you so much, sir, for this insightful session, and we hope to have more sessions from you so that it will benefit our students. Thank you once again on the behalf of MMCOE and the Engineering, Science and Humanities Department. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you. So request the students, we will we'll be getting back to you, and you will have to join the next session at 11:45. Thank you for your active participation. Thank you so much. Yes. So let's meet.
Vaishali, can I exit?
Yes, sir, you can exit, sir.
Thank you very much, everyone. I hope I was able to deliver to your expectations, and I'm extremely sorry if I couldn't meet your expectations. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, all the participants. Do join for the next session.